So now it's time to blow everybody's mind, because the last time we left off, over the course of the last few videos, I mean, things have been very, very slow, and I needed to kind of speed this campaign up, so I just fast-forwarded us by about 60 turns. And oh my goodness, we have so much to talk about. I'm gonna go ahead and just have this keep hitting next turn. It's turn 485. Let's start continent by continent. Australia. Australia doesn't look that much more different. Obviously, Argentina has become the kind of the colonial powerhouse here in the Pacific. So yeah, Latin American civ moving out towards the Pacific. That's pretty cool. The Americans have been eliminated off the south and northern islands of New Zealand. And you can see that there's currently an Indonesian-Australian war going on. So yeah, the Americans are still alive, and they'll more than likely stay alive. And as well as the continent of Australia still looks very, very similar. I'm gonna try to make this fast, but yeah, the continent of Australia looks pretty similar. But I don't want to skip over everything because there's so much that happens. Obviously, Australia ended up they have been at war for the last like 50 turns. They've been at war for like the last 50 turns, and finally, Australia started to make some gains. Now we're seeing Indonesia come back with their own force. However, this is just a force of submarines. Obviously, not the best of strategies. You'll also notice that the graphics have been turned down. That is because it will help slowly. It'll help a little bit with kind of getting the game to move a little bit faster at this point. It's been pretty much running for the last like 24 hours, pretty much. That's why it went the way it did. So. Oh man, let me go over some of the things first. I am using the IGE. This is how I kind of set the game up, the in-game editor mod. It helped also kind of stabling out the game, as well as I needed to look at what was going on, because when I came back, all this stuff had happened, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? I don't understand. So right now, there was a big war between Korea and Mongolia. Now there's a peace deal, but Korea grabbed a few more cities. Currently, there's a coalition between against Japan between Korea and the Chinook. So that is why we're seeing Korean ships go out and attack Kyoto, as well as we'll see, I think, some of the northern Japanese islands kind of, I think, under invasion from the Chinook. The Chinook have done a really good job. They are surviving. In terms of the Shoshone, they have eliminated the Iroquois. They just eliminated the Iroquois. Obviously, they destroyed America, but we knew about that. But the Inca, and actually this is not that surprising, but the Inca were almost virtually eliminated between the Argentinians to the south and the Sioux to the north. Did I say the Sioux? Did I mess that up? Maybe Crack Lord made an appearance, but all I know is that these two worked together and pretty much ate up the Inca, which is something that we kind of all knew was going to happen because it was a power in between these two great powers. So they worked together, and now Argentina has they've got pretty much full control over South America, and the Sioux have pretty much full control over North America. We've got Texas invading the Shoshone with the Chinook help. However, the Chinook are still at war with the Japanese, so I'm not sure if they're really contributing that much. India somehow still alive. The Champa has been eliminated by the Sioux. I'm sorry, by Siam. And Tibet somehow still exists. We've got Persia still doing really, really well. Okay, now let's jump to the fun stuff. Africa. Everyone wants to know, I'm sure everyone's wondering, what the heck happened to Africa? You'll also notice there has been quite a few nuclear drops. Yes. Africa is pretty much in ruins at this point. Fallout everywhere. Last time I checked, the Congo went to war with the Ashanti. And at that point, I figured, okay, the Ashanti has fallen. I don't know when or how, but at some point the Congo decided to turn their sights on the Ethiopians. The Ethiopians now have been just kind of crushed down towards the southeast part of Africa. They're still in Madagascar, and obviously they still have their colonies in the Pacific. But even some of the holdings inside of the Arabian Peninsula has been taken out by Persia. Persia has used this to their advantage. So the Congo went crazy. Obviously, the Congo were, I think, number 1, number 2 most powerful nation. They took out a lot of the Ashanti troops. However, then they set their sights, and I don't know exactly who declared war on who. I'm assuming that it was the Congo declaring war on the Ashanti, and they declared war on the Ethiopians. But I don't know. That could have been the opposite. The Ethiopians could have declared war on the Congo. I'm not sure. All I know is that the Ashantis obviously lost a lot of units because then Rome declared, and Rome took all of the northern holdings in Africa from the Ashanti. Okay, so another big thing is the Russians. So the Russians, obviously, they destroyed all of Poland. They ended up taking a lot of the Danish cities to the south of Scandinavia. They obviously invaded Novgorod at some point, and now we have Denmark versus Norway currently in Scandinavia. But Russia has really kind of solidified their power as a world power, pretty much. So yeah, the Russians are now invading Rome, and I don't know how they're doing this because they have to squeeze in between these two tiles between Greece. But they're doing okay. Obviously, there have been nukes dropped within Europe. We've got Antium, and this Roman city kind of feeling the impacts at the very least. Great Britain's done a pretty good job taking over Orleans. They took over France at some point, but that's about it. They do still have their holdings in North America, so that's pretty cool. I think for the most part, that is about it. Let me explain. So yeah, we've got to move on to the next campaign. This campaign was running long, and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm doing 2 turns. I'm doing 2 processes first per turn, like 2 turns per video. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. The Inca are now being declared by Australia and Norway. Obviously, Constantinople also fell to the Greeks and Alexander. But that's about it. Babylon still exists. Tibet still exists. Persia's doing pretty well. And the Mongols have been destroyed. The Mongols have been destroyed. Yeah, not the Mongols. Mongolia is still doing okay, but barely. There are quite a few wars still going on. So the Congo are still at war with Ethiopia. Obviously, we saw the European, Russian, Roman war. There's this coalition against Japan. Australia and Indonesia are still going at it. And the Sioux are at war technically with the Californians. They took out most of the Californian cities over here. So San Diego, San Jose, Montreal. I'm sorry, Monterey. Montreal, Monterey, Fresno. A lot of cities have fallen to the Sioux, but California still exists technically, so got to give them a big hand for that, the fact that they are surviving. And then I talked about the other one, the Shoshone War, so this could really help out Texas, but obviously we're 15 turns before the end of this campaign. Yeah, so I didn't know what to do. I was trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do? I need to end this campaign. I'm really ready for the next one, super ready for the next one, but I don't want to end it too early. And I promised you guys I'd go to turn 500. So what I did is I opened this thing up. I turned down like all the graphics that I could, brought in the in-game editor, and just had it sit overnight and just run. So one of the things that really helped out a lot, which I'm hoping won't happen in the next campaign, is that a lot of the civs weren't going to war. And that was part of the reason why the processing was so slow. Nobody was going to war, and what we really needed was, more than likely, it was the Congo finally going to war. Once the Congo finally went to war, they went to war with the Ashanti. You know, they both killed each other's units. Then I don't know what happened, but Ethiopia and the Congo, you know, started this conflict up. Rome then went after the Ashanti, taking a few cities here. I think Great Britain is also involved in the Ashanti War, by the way. And then the Russians went after the Romans. I'm guessing right after they took out Novgorod. Somewhere around there, more than likely. I have no idea what's going on with Mongolia and Korea. I don't think that they're still at war. I'm pretty sure they're at peace, I think. And we might see our first land Japanese city fall, maybe. I mean, the Japanese still have a lot of troops here, so you never know. Yeah, we're actually not too sure. But obviously, the turns are still taking quite a long time to process. So, you know, obviously we're seeing turn 485 still, but I wanted to kind of go over this briefly and talk about a few things before yeah, I just wanted to discuss this. I didn't really want to end it, so yeah. Oh, look at this, Argentina. I didn't realize Argentina was also at war with Ethiopia, and Ethiopia is not able to defend these cities. Yeah, so obviously that's a huge problem for them. That's gonna be a pretty big problem for them. So let's talk about victory types here. I still would like to go to turn 500 if I can. Obviously, I've pressed it pretty far forward. I think I can, as long as, I don't know. I mean, we're doing about, geez, what is it, like 10 minutes per turn? So yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. But and I do want to see what's going to happen here. But let's talk about victory types, because obviously this thing is going to be a huge mess. You know what? Let me turn off. Oh, okay, good. This is not okay. So it should stop whenever the Chinook are done processing their turn. Oh yeah, and so obviously Central America was taken out. Inca, like I said, the Inca do still exist, but it's only with one city. and the Argentinians have decided to keep around these one cities like Chile and Brazil and things like that. And here go the Sioux. Oh, that's probably why the Chinook were taking so long, because the Sioux were right after them. And I'm guessing the Romans are having to come back up because, yeah, these XCOM troops are just going straight forward. They don't even care at this point. They don't even care. Oh, the Chinook took over a city. Which city did they take? Ah, this one. Okay. Okay, yeah, so let's talk about who's going to win the campaign. This is what I'm going to do. We are going to have a vote, and we will do a straw poll. However, I'm gonna make it really, really clear in the actual straw poll itself, and like in the video, because this won't be this video that we're doing the vote in. I want to make it super, super clear that this will not be, that the vote will not determine the winner. I want to kind of get an idea of who you guys think should win, as well as I think it's cool. I think it's cool to have everybody kind of cast their vote. I think that's super awesome to do that. Everyone's going after Tibet. I'm sorry, the Inca. We knew about that one. Okay, so demographics. I haven't actually checked this. So still the Sioux are dominating the demographics for the most part. And we've got Korea though, #1 in literacy, and Congo #1 in population. But the Sioux dominate everything else. Yeah, so I think it's just cool. You know, I think that it's part of the community here, and I know a lot of you guys like this, and I think I really like getting an idea of what you guys think, who you guys think should win. That's all I'm going to say for now. We'll talk about the vote in the next video. Obviously, there's going to be more than just 2 people on the ballots, I guess you could say, on the straw poll. But yeah, I'm going to make it super clear that just because, you know, I don't know, some random civ gets the most votes doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to go with that civ. I just want to get an idea, and I think it's just fun to have everybody vote and see what everybody else thinks. But yeah, last time, as I talked about in the previous AI-only battle, it didn't go so well, having people like choose the winner through straw poll. So that's why I'm not going to do that again, but I still want to have a vote because I think it's still pretty cool. What city? By Rome. That is another Ashanti city. Yeah, so the Ashanti never really came back. I love that there's like all this. See, so apparently these 2 cities must have got nuked to the ground. I'm guessing by the Congo, because they're still because I'm pretty sure I put no city raising on. Yeah, I'm 95% sure I only do no city raising. So the fact that these don't exist anymore means that they were nuked to the ground. So that must have been really, really crazy. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, like I said, it was I needed to push the campaign. I just had this running for like 24 hours while I was gone all day, and I came back to this. Wait a second, who's Babylon? Babylon is not at war with Persia, but is Babylon finally thinking about a war, maybe with the Russians? I don't know. That's definitely a possibility. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out. I do want to see what Russia's gonna do. Russia having so many units. And they've just decided to press straight for Rome. I'm guessing they just want to take the Roman capital, and that's it. They'd solidify themselves in Europe as the great power. And as you can see, Central Asia really did end up kind of really filling itself out. Obviously not with one nation. It's been a bunch of colonies. We've got the Congo, Ethiopia, obviously the Mongolia here, Persia, California, even Novgorod. I know that Russia had to give, or these 2 are puppeted, or I'm sorry, these 2 cities were given to Russia by Novgorod. They were not taken because I believe I think I saw the population didn't change, and that's why I was figured, oh yeah, those are puppets. But that is it in terms of information that I know. I really want to know what Russia's doing, but Russia's taken a really long time to process their turn. But anyways, guys, that's a little update. We're going to come back with a vote in the next video, I think. Not 100%, but I did want to push the campaign so we can kind of see what happens. Too bad Great Britain didn't end up taking more cities from the Ashanti. I know that the Ashanti are at war with Great Britain, or they used to be. Ethiopia and Persia have peaced out, and did Persia get any cities from this? I don't see anything. I don't think they did. No, this was a Persian city already. Australia, this all looks about the same, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, I'm going to stop a little bit early. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.